Hi guys, and welcome to a battle between Flying Taco and his mighty Greenskins up against CD Mavs 41 and his Empire forces who are rallying here to defend the realm of a Pillar of Bone apparently. So it looks like they're actually doing a bit of insursion into the Greenskins territory. Let's slow this down here and go through the armies rather quickly. So in the front line here for the Gobbos, we do have Night Goblin Fanatics mixed in with the Warlord Boys as well as the eight Peak Loonies there. There's a bit of a mouthful to say. So both regiment renowned Gobbos plus a nice front line of Night Goblins, all Fanatics as well, going to be swinging out there high off their mushrooms and doing some decent damage. Now in the secondary line we have a Savage Orc Arrow Boys, which is a pretty interesting pick. I don't see these guys at all much in multiplayer, but they're okay melee combatants. They can hold the line if, you know, you get swarmed and so forth. But at the same time, they don't do the most damage as archers. But to make up for that, they're going to have some really nice synergy with the rusty arrows, which of course give that armor sundering, which if we check just down here, does in fact, well, that's the poison element. So they not only poison their foes, but also give minus 30 armor, allowing these Savage Orc Arrow Boys to do decent damage to Empire Knights and so forth. Now, just behind in the back line, we have something we never ever see. We have 4 units of Orc Boar Boys, which, you know, they're a shock cav, pretty cheap and cheerful overall. They've got worse stats than Empire Knights for the most point. Same charge bonus, but lower melee attack and defense and armor and all that kind of stuff, unfortunately. But they're pretty good at targeting such forces and helping protect this back line. We also have a couple of units of Trolls as well, who will be regenerating and adding a bit more punch to this front line. But they work really well with Goblins, a bit like Croxigors and Skinks. They synergize really well, saturating in, allowing the Goblins to take the damage whilst they deal out the pain themselves. Now for a leadership core, we do in fact have a particularly weird one. We have 2 Night Goblin Shamans down here, both with the exact same kit of Madcap Mushrooms, Wand of Jet, and Curse of the Bad Moon. So we do have 2 Curses of the Bad Moon right here. And then on their Goblin Great Shaman, we have a 3rd one, as well as coming in with Vindictive Glare, War, and Arcane Conduit, and all that good stuff. So we are in fact going to pause this quickly while we go over the Empire builders. This battle does get underway relatively quickly and we don't want to miss anything important. So it looks like on the right hand flank we have some hardcore shock cav. Can be trying to show those Orc Boar Boys how to, you know, a real knight fights on the field. Coming in with their flaming lances there. Pretty decent shock cav Knights of the Blazing Sun. But for his main battle line we have a mixture of spearmen and swordsmen in the front line, supporting the Sigma Suns. Then we have a nice unbreakable second line of Flagellants. But it looks like they are only protecting a single mortar for that long range firepower. Up on the high ground we have some more Empire Knights hiding in the trees, escorting some greatswords, and down on the left we have more Empire Knights as well. I quite like the greatswords pick here, at least having 1 or 2 units of those guys allows you to counter Black Orcs and so forth as effectively as Empire can do. We also have a Volkmar the Grim rolling dirty as his lord here on the ultimate pimp wagon, rocking that rock hard moustache there. And I've always found his kind of glowy green eagle a little bit odd and out of place, but still, he's going to be coming in with Grand Soulfire, Grand Shield of Faith, Grand Hammer of Sigma, just grand everything here, and also coming in with his own banishment spell as well. And up in the skies we do have a Death Wizard as well. Looks like he's got Spirit Leech, Fate of Biuna, Purple Sun, and is this Doom and Darkness? And Doom and Darkness overall to tank leadership, which will work pretty effectively up against Greenskins here. So it looks like both forces are pushing forward here. Mortar getting a couple of early shots in. Looks like he is currently aiming for the Savage Orc Arrow Boys. Not a bad shout, trying to get those guys off the line. Of course, he cannot see a lot of the Night Goblins yet who are stalked. And again, it does okay damage as it does come in. Look like the Knights of Blazing Sun are charging forth. I heard the war horn sound. We're trying to get some nice cycle charging on these Night Goblin Fanatics, but they are pulling back to the safety of the Orc Boys. And this is the key crux of the whole battlefield here. A Curse of the Bad Moon does go down, and a second one goes down at the same time, nuking these Flagellants down to about 3rd health. And this one on this side is now swarming into this unit as well. But luckily the Empire player does notice and starts pulling those guys down, not before they've taken a bit of damage. Looks like a 3rd one is going down here as well, and just about catches the Sigma Suns. Now, we're going to slow this down incredibly quickly here. So, okay, they didn't do the most damage overall, they did some okay damage, but the main thing the Curse of the Bad Moon actually does, yes, it does damage, but it does a Dynasty Curse. So for 22 seconds, these guys are losing 24 speed, 30 armor and 24 melee defense. They are so squishy now. So now what we want to do is pin them with Archer Fire, and the Warlord Boys are all of a sudden going to trade very effectively up against a much more elite unit like the Sigma Sun. So I actually really like the play here of the Curse of the Bad Moon. Front line is underway all across. Goblins are fighting spearmen and so forth. Can be a bit of a damp noodle contest, and it looks like a fated unit did in fact go down on the Orc Boar Boys, which is an odd pick. I don't think they are that much value, but still, you know, it did okay. It looks like the Knights of the Blazing Sun are actually going to get caught here from a ward-up rear charge from Night Goblins, and Orc Boar Boys can be allowing them to punch above their weight. And all across the field, Night Goblins are going insane and just hacking down foes wherever they can. And over in the far side, once again, Orc Boar Boys being used in conjunction with some Night Goblins to just overpower Empire Knights here, which is really nice play and allowing these guys to be pretty effective when most matchups, or most players don't seem to be able to get the most out of their Orc Boys. Looks like Empire Knights are starting to rally a little bit yet, though, but some Savage Orc Arrow Boy fire will certainly help here. Looks like some banishments are going down as well by the mighty Volkmar the Grim. Not, you know, doesn't want to get those area of effect damages away, just, you know, to all the goblins having all the good fun. He wants to get in there and do some work himself. Up to 111 kills so far as well. Another curse does come down on these flagellants in the back line here, doing some pretty decent damage overall. But once again, applying that curse, that's going to really help these goblins punch massively above their weight. The Spirit Leech coming down on the Savage Orc Arrow Boy is another kind of odd pick. I would have probably popped it on the Goblin Great Shaman before going in for an assassination attempt myself. And as we can see, Volkmar is doing a great job holding the centre pocket, but he now has a conclave of archers around him. Some on this flank all the way in front and some on the other flank, getting that consistent fire and damage done to him. And his health is dropping pretty rapidly now, but he's trying to get into that back line and push those guys down. Now, unfortunately here for the Deathcaster, Goblin Great Shamans on foot are actually really sticky to kill because of this. They keep getting hit down, well, they don't take any more damage. The wizard goes back up into the air and has to swoop back down once again. So they've been fighting for quite a consistent amount of time here, and the Goblins really not taking too much damage. Apart from that, though, it looks like the Empire is slowly starting to falter here a bit, but the Mortar still is online, 32 kills overall. Knights of the Blazing Sun are unfortunately being dragged down by little Night Goblins, which is, you know, not the best situation for those boys. They need to be a little bit more mobile. And the Orc Boar Boys, these are two guys a little lagging behind, getting some nice rare attacks now, and these Flagellants are going to help out these Night Goblins in the front fight. Backline has slowly started to be shut down by the Empire, but only by Volkmar, who is very knackered now, and this Deathcaster as well. And there's just too many archers for them to focus down. Orc Boar Boys as well coming in to pin in Volkmar and try and rescue out these Savage Orcs. But again, they're pretty decent melee combatants. They can fight him, go toe-to-toe for a little while, and at least try and pin him in with a bit of support. Another Spirit Leech going down to Rusty Arrows, and another Curse as well going in the back. Popping the curse down on all of these units, including the trolls, though it does do friendly fire as well. But what an animation. It's such a cool and underused vortex ability. It's this screaming face of, I suppose, the Bad Moon overall. In the far side, Empire Knights have slowly been forced off here by Night Goblin Fanatics. And really nice utility here, mixing in the archers and, of course, the Bad Moon and so forth, with the Boar Boys, allowing all these elements to punch way above their weight than they would normally do. Another great Soulfire coming in, and we do have Grand Hammer of Sigma as well, popped on Volkmar, giving him that plus 24 melee attack. He's doing a pretty good job running over foes in the back line, but he is slowly getting surrounded. It looks like all the Empire forces have completely broken, apart from the ones which are unbreakable. Nice Vindictive Glare going as well, but looks like it was a bit of a swing and a miss. And a banishment go down on Savage Orc Arrow Boy, just a bit of a middle finger there to those guys as Volkmar does ride out into the sunset. He will unfortunately be coming down here. Sigma's #1 supporter is down to just 400 health, and there's just no way he's going to be able to pull this out. There's archers all around the place. Once again, nice play here by the Goblin player, just keeping them at different locations rather than having them all bunched up. So if he shuts down one, he's still going to be getting that nice crossfire with all the other units. Looks like trolls are just finishing off these fanatics in the front line, putting them in their place, vomiting over them, and you can just see blood splattering in all directions. These guys lose limb after limb. There's just two brave fellows left down here, but looks like the Goblin is getting involved as well, and a swift boot to the face there by a nasty troll does pull him down. I think that is going to be it. So a nice Pyrrhic victory there for the Greenskins. Let's go to the end stats. So very well played to both CD Mav 41 and Flying Taco there. Crazy build. Now, Flying Taco has played quite a lot on streams recently. On my channel and so forth, and it surprises me the builds he brings, just units which we would not consider working. And I've seen Savage Orc Arrow Boys used a few times, but Orc Boar Boys almost never get any action, and triple Curse of the Bad Moon is a very interesting tactic, but somehow he always seems to be able to make it work. So I really do like the synergy of this build. I think it's got a lot of potential. The Goblins, you can see, getting a lot more kills than you would normally expect from the little fellows, and that is because those curses, dropping all the negatives down on the Warriors of Sigma here, and the assistance coming in from the Savage Orc Arrow Boys doing a decent job. Orc Ball Boys, maybe I should give these guys a little bit more of a second chance. They have some okay charge bonus, and if they pop in there, they can hold and pin in Empire Knights. And with the assistance of just one unit of Night Goblins, you can, hamstring those horses and drag them down into the dirt. But overall, massive shout out to both of these guys. And if you did enjoy, please do consider hopping down and giving this video a big old thumbs up and subscribe and all that good stuff if you want to see more content like this. Anyway, guys, until next time, peace, and stay awesome.